Merrill Memo with Matthew Dickerson from Dubbo Regional Council.
I'm speaking with Dubbo Regional Council Mayor Matthew Dickerson this morning. How are you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks, Nathan. Good to be chatting to you. Always exciting to chat, to tell you what's been going on at Dubbo Regional Council.
Now, you've had the second last council meeting.
Indeed, we've had 34 council meetings this term of council so far, Nathan. It's a shortened time frame because of COVID-delayed elections back in 2021, but that was our second last meeting, and you're getting to the end of the term, and it was business as usual in this particular meeting. Our last council meeting, maybe there'll be a few speeches from councillors about their time on council, but this one was pretty much business as usual.
All right. Now, as part of that meeting, there was a loan spoken about, a loan to Macquarie Homestay for the amount of $100,000.
Indeed, and this is something where Macquarie Homestay and people in your listening area would be definitely familiar with Macquarie Homestay and the wonderful work that they do. There was a request from Macquarie Homestay for $100,000 interest-free loan, and Dubbo Regional Council, and back to the old Dubbo City Council days, has a history of giving loans out to community organisations where there's a desperate need for that money. It may be difficult for them to borrow that money otherwise because sometimes banks are a little bit difficult to get along with in terms of borrowing money, but also they want to charge interest on that money. So Macquarie Homestay made a request to council. That went to our council meeting for that to be resolved by council. A bit of discussion about that. Everyone recognised the wonderful work that Macquarie Homestay does do in the wider community in the region, more so than in the Dubbo community for Dubbo residents. And there was some discussion about the disappointment that there is a fair bit of cost shifting going on here, where maybe this facility should be something that's provided solely by the state government as a health facility. There's been a lot of community fundraising that's gone into this particular project, and again, it delivers a wonderful service to the community. But in the end, council said it was too important not to give them the loan, so we agreed to give them a $100,000 interest-free loan, and that'll be repaid over 5 years. So there'll be a small cost to the community in interest that we won't receive on that money that might be in one of our investments, but we saw that as a small price to pay for the wonderful service that Macquarie Homestay delivers.
That's wonderful. All right. DA processing times. Dubbo's looking good?
Dubbo is looking very good, and this is something the state government's putting a large focus on to try and accelerate housing. One of the things that's interesting in terms of all the housing that we need across the state, the last thing the state government wants is for the local councils in the DA processing to hold up the whole process. So they're introducing a few changes. They're introducing a league table. They're also introducing some targets, and these targets are going to be something they're pushing for all councils across the state, and a target that'll start immediately, but also an improving target. So what they're going to do is they're saying that DAs must be processed from each council within an average of 115 days now, and that time frame continues to be reduced year on year for the eventual target by the year 2027 to be 85 days average processing time for DAs. And as a result of that, they put out a table, a league table, to show where your council is in those DA processing times. And I'm proud to tell you that Dubbo Regional Council features very well on that. Our average so far for going backwards in the 2022-2023 financial year was 55 gross days. So again, that target's 115, so we're well below that. And for the 2023-2024 financial year, we processed our DAs at an average of 52 days, so even more impressive in terms of those timeframes. This, if you look at that league table, any larger council, any council similar size or larger than Dubbo Regional Council, we had the best processing times of any of those councils. We did have some small councils that might process, say, 5 DAs in a year, were faster at their DA processing times than Dubbo, but again, looking at any of those councils that are larger, then we've got the best processing time across the state. Keep in mind that in the 2023-2024 financial year, we had 645 approved applications. So all good news for our staff, all good news for our council, but also fantastic news for developers in our particular area.
And finally, the end of term report has been delivered.
This is something that's a part of the Local Government Act. Not many people realise this, but if you read the Local Government Act Section 428, Part 2, which I'm not sure that many people do read as bedtime reading, but part of that says, in an election year, the council must report the achievements over the previous 4 years. Now, in this case, it won't be 4 years because we've had a shortened time frame, but on Friday, we gave our end-of-term report, and that was essentially a public presentation to the community to go through a whole range of areas to show what we'd done, how we'd done it, basically a report card. And to do that, one of the things that I did, Nathan, is I went back through our business papers, our 34 meetings that we've had of council, went back and looked at those summary of those business papers from each meeting. And it is quite fascinating when you go back and look at things over that time frame, the number of things that you do, the number of things that you're heavily involved with, the number of things that are vitally important that we're working on at the time, and then once the decision of council is made, we move on. So there's been a lot of that, and again, I would give us a very good report card. If I had to give it a score, Nathan, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. I don't like to give things a perfect score, so 10 out of 10, it means you're perfect. I don't think we've been perfect, but I think we've been an exceptional council, and we started from a pretty low base. Dubbo was in a bit of turmoil when this council came along. We were under a performance improvement order. We had 2 councillors resign during the term of council, the previous term of council. The election was twice delayed, so that caused some turmoil. They'd been through 5 CEOs in that one term of council. So on 22nd of December 2021, when this group of councillors was elected, they'd been in a bit of that turmoil, and out of the 10 councillors on the previous term of council, only 1 councillor was returned. So there was a lack of council experience and a fair bit of turmoil to start with. But from that point on, I think the community can be very happy, very satisfied with the work this council has done. So well done to all the councillors, well done to our council staff as well. I think we've done an exceptional job over that time frame.
Matthew Dickerson, thank you for your time.
Always my pleasure, Nathan. Thanks for chatting.
Mero Memo with Matthew Dickerson from Dubbo Regional Council.